Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to begin this lesson by giving all praises, all glory, and all honor unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakwat, Kadash, giving double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone, to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and teachers that surely do well, pushing this doctrine in sincerity and in truth throughout the four corners of the earth, risking their lives to do so. To the sincere brethren, prophets and teachers, to the sincere brethren, prophets and teachers as well, out there, I say shalom to you. To the Akyam that are sincere, continues to stay sincere, examine yourself to see if you be in the faith. Shalom. To the Akwat, sitting and listening in silence, say the law in all subjection to your husbands. Say shalom to you. Shalom to the speckled foreigners, Yasharala. Shalom to the elect. Shalom Labakarian. Brother Kowal, we're here again with another lesson. And I come to you with this lesson here at a time where I'm so lost for words. You may find yourself being that way at times. But yet the feeding of the sheep must continue. I begin by reading this book of John chapter 16, reading from verse 1. It says, "These things have I spoken unto you, that you should not be offended." Don't take offense when these things come. So you won't find yourself being all emotional and getting out of pocket and out of character. Right? Stand firm in the promises of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that He will keep you through all the affliction that we are appointed to. Yahweh Shem Yahushai doesn't want you to be flustered and be, as men they say, and get shaky. The scripture says in verse 2, "They shall put you out of the synagogues. Yea, the time cometh, that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth power, service." Just a quick look here. Right. With synagogues here.
Strong's G 656. Aposunagogas. Aposunagogas.
Synagogues. Excluded from sacred assemblies of Israelites, excommunicated. Excluded from Israelites, excommunicated. Excommunicated Israelites. Right? From the root word of 2, G575.
Strong's G 575. Apa.
Strong G575, apa, of separation, of local separation, right, of separation of a part of the whole, right, right,
Strong's G 4864. Synagogue. Synagogue.
bringing together a gathering of fruits, as of fruits, a contracting. In the New Testament, an assembling together of men, an assembly of men. So this is going into Men who would find themselves being separated from a gathering of men. For men who gather, there's some men that will be separated from them. But it says that they will put you out of the synagogues. Time will come that you will see men being separated from a body of men. Yea, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you thinketh that he doeth the work of power. Scripture said this separation is like a death. It's likening this separation and being kicked out of the synagogue is like a death. Say, whosoever killeth you. These men, in these times to come, will be doing these things, thinking that they're doing a service to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And these things will they do unto you because they have not known the Father nor me. It's not my job to tell you whether you know Yahweh Bashem Yahushai or not. I read the scripture, I say to examine yourself to see if you be in the faith. If you're not of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, it will be revealed. How will it be revealed? By the Spirit. By the characteristics of these men that come out. This is the book of Matthew chapter 26, reading from verse 58. Going down, it says, But Peter followed after him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Yahushua to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came two false witnesses. For these kind of judgments spoken about in the John 16 to happen. It ain't going to happen just so. They see it happen to Yahushua. Can the servant be greater than the master? It's going to happen to men. And when it happens to you, he said, do not be offended. He tell it to what? Do not be offended. Don't lose it. Don't find yourself being confused and worried and concerned. These things are going to happen. Let every man be persuaded in his own self, roughly paraphrasing. But you're being persuaded then. You're being persuaded that you're walking the righteous path unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Study to show yourself approved, a workman man ought not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. How you will know? By knowing the word. This brother I used to once fellowship with was so yappa. He was so yappa when he would say, when he said this, he said to brought me to the scripture where it said, to get into the kingdom, yes, your righteousness must surpass the righteousness of the Pharisees. Who were the men that were putting Yahushua to death? In the synagogues, who run in the synagogues that put you out of them? The Pharisees. You feel the synagogues in these modern times could be these high-rise buildings or these great structures where men sit and have a structure of table around and whatnot. No, it just says it's a gathering of men. That synagogue that you get kicked out of, when you know you're standing firm and it have men that will confirm by the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai that you've been walking righteously, and these men not saying that they are judging unrighteously. They're actually operating in that spirit of Pharisees and kicking men out of the synagogues around the gathering and thinking that they do it as service to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, but it's a service unto themselves. And they're blinded. But who are you to tell them? They are the ones that have the authority to throw you out. Therefore, they don't care for what authority you may possibly have that could supersede what they are saying in judgment. You got to take that. Right? This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19, and reading from verse 15. It says, One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of two witnesses, or at the mouth of three witnesses, shall the matter be established. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against himself, him that which is wrong, if then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before Yahweh, before the priests and the judges which shall judge, which shall be in those days, and the judges shall make diligent inquisition. You have to make a hard working inquiry. Look into the matter. Work hard looking into the matter. And behold, if the witness be a false witness, and had testified falsely against his brother, then shall you do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shalt thou be put the evil away from among you. Are there any camps in the earth today, in GMS or any other camp, that you have men bringing false witnesses and bearing false witnesses against men without diligent inquisition being looked into the matter and judgment being cast? Let all things be done decently and in decency and in order. 1 Corinthians 14 and 40. Let me just get quick, right? I'm going to just phrase it properly, right? This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 40. It says, let all things be done decently and in order. The decency and the order of how a matter should be judged is written here in Deuteronomy chapter 19. False witnesses is something that is frowned upon. That is a false balance, and it's an abomination unto Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, he hates every false way. The scripture says in verse 19, then shall he do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother, so shalt thou put the evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. And thine eye shall no pity, thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Should you find yourself being among a camp, or knowing of camps that are conducting themselves in such a matter, in such a fashion, as Apostle Taha says, you see something, say something. Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 15 says, I will give unto you pastors after mine own heart, to feed you with knowledge and understanding. What did Yahushua say to Peter? If you love me, feed my sheep, not judge them in unrighteousness, not be seeking counsels against them to judge them unrighteously. The scripture says that if you judge them unrighteously, that same judgment you wanted for them is what is going to be upon you. We saw in the John 16, if they do these things, they killing the brother, they putting you out of the synagogue. It is a death sentence unto your brother. When you do so with unrighteousness, and the judgment has to be reversed into a righteous one, you are the one that is going to be put to death. How many men have been put to death unjustly thus far in these synagogues that exist? Are the teachers and apostles and elders, overseers of these men, are they looking into these matters? These matters that have not been diligently searched out and judged. Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha. Yahweh Basham Yawashai, Natan Lanawa, Wa, Kalakyam, Sakwanyam, Baba Kasha. Look into these matters. Look into matters diligently. Review matters. Not everybody that is going to be judged by these synagogues to be put out are going to be righteously judged. Diligently search into the matters, Baba Kasha. Look at all sides. Hear from the accused. Hear from the accuser. Check the witnesses. Not every matter is simple. Everything is going to be done decently and in order. In decency and in order. That's what I will name this lesson. Decency and in order. I pray this lesson would be edified by the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai. End this lesson by giving all praises, all glory and honor unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Harakwa Kodash, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. My teachers, our teachers that surely do well, pushing this doctrine in sincerity and in truth through the four corners of the earth, risking their lives to do so. As I do, even as I do, for the Akim, the sincere brothers, to the sincere prophets, the sincere Akim that are out there risking their lives in righteousness, in sincerity, in diligence. I say shalom to you. Shalom to the Akwat, sitting at home listening in silence to their husbands. I say the law, shalom. Shalom labakariam, abad babal.